In this video, I'm going to show you my exact process to send over 1,000 cold DMs every single day. And you might be thinking, damn, that's a lot. But if your business isn't growing as fast as you want it to, it's literally because you're not getting enough eyeballs on your offer. Now, how do I know this? Well, simply because we're sending way more than 1,000 cold DMs every single day across all of our accounts and our client accounts. It's actually upwards of 2 million a month right now. And we've been able to get results like these. And it's how we scaled Drippy to over $1 million in sales, and how we were able to get 198 new paying subscribers just last month. And so in this video, I'm gonna go over number 1, how to build accounts that you can actually send thousands of messages every single day. Number 2, we're gonna walk through how to set up campaigns. We'll talk about how to write effective copy, and we'll even go through how to reply without going insane with the amount of replies that start coming in. So let's dive right in. First thing we need to figure out is the account situation. There's 2 ways of going about this. You can either make accounts or you can buy accounts. Now, which one you want to go with really just depends on the amount of volume that you want to be sending out. Each Twitter account allows you to send up to 500 new messages per day per account, and so you just want to play around with the numbers. You will at least need a couple if you want to be sending thousands, but if maybe you want to stay under that, then maybe you can just run your own personal account. But again, if you really want to take this seriously, you really need to be sending anywhere between 2,000 and 3,000 new messages every single day. And so if you're asking yourself what it is that we do, we typically just buy accounts. We found that it's just way easier, way less time consuming, and you end up with the same end result. Now, I'm not going to give you a specific source to buy these Twitter accounts from, but there are 2 things that you want to be looking out for whenever you're buying accounts. Now, Twitter is really different to any other social media platform because you don't really need aged accounts. All you really need to be looking for whenever you're buying Twitter accounts is number 1, you need these accounts to be email verified. And number 2, you want these accounts to be phone verified as well. Because if they're not, you're just going to waste a bunch of time getting email verifications on them and then verifying phone numbers, and you're going to need a whole bunch of different emails and you're going to need a whole bunch of different phone numbers. It's just a complete pain in the ass. So I recommend you just skip all that and just make sure that wherever you're getting the accounts are both email and phone verified. But even if they're not saying it explicitly, then I still recommend you just go to their customer support and ask them whether or not they have email and phone verified accounts. Even if you can just get like email verified accounts, that's way better than starting out with 0, because again, both of these steps are super necessary and they take a bunch of time, so you can just skip that time by paying a little bit extra. In my eyes, it is a complete win. Now that we have our email and phone verified accounts, we're gonna have to optimize these accounts following this same process that I'm about to show you. Now, we've done this process for thousands of accounts. We've tested every single piece of the puzzle. And so this is just gonna save you a bunch of time, a bunch of accounts getting banned, a bunch of just money being wasted on verification. Because again, we're talking Twitter outreach here. So yes, you do need to verify accounts in order to send as many messages as possible, okay? Now, so you have your X or your Twitter account. What you're gonna wanna do is you wanna assign a proxy to it. Now, reason you want to do this is the whole optimization process that's going to happen down here. You don't want to be logging into the account from different IP addresses. And if you're doing this at scale, you don't want your personal IP address to be the one that's associated with like 10 or 15 accounts, right? Because they're all going to get banned. And so proxies, that's how you do that. You can buy, there's a bunch of different proxy providers. You can literally just look up like proxy providers, and then you just connect to something like hide my account, or there's another one. There's like a green one out there. I forget what it's called, but you can essentially connect proxies to these essentially, you can connect the proxies to these anti-detect browsers. Oh, the green one's called Go Login. I just remembered. And so you can connect the proxies to these anti-detect browsers, and then you log into the Twitter accounts directly on those browsers. Okay, you can like just look anti-detect browser up, and you'll see everything. It's super easy to do. So you just need to buy your proxies and then connect to an anti-detect browser. Then we're going to optimize the accounts, right? So this is just a very general overview of what it is that we're going to be doing. So account, then proxy, we're going to get that connected to an anti-detect browser, and we're going to optimize, which I'm going to go through down here how to do. Then we're going to verify those accounts, then we're going to connect those accounts to Drippy, then we're going to start sending messages, then we're going to reply to those messages via the Drippy Unibox so that it's easy to do, even if you're sending hundreds of thousands of messages a month. Then we're going to book sales calls, and then we are going to get paying clients. So we're either going to make or buy the accounts, which is what I was talking about earlier. Email verify them, phone verify them, or you can just skip this by buying accounts that are email and phone verified. Then the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to log into the accounts. Now, the next day, after you log into the accounts via the proxy and the anti-detect browser, you're going to want to change the profile picture, change the name, and then change the username. Then we're gonna have to wait 3 days to verify, okay? 3 days to verify the accounts. We're gonna buy verification, and then it used to be 3 to 5 days for the verification to appear, but we found that now it's literally just taking a couple minutes. So if you're unlucky, it'll take a couple days. If you're lucky, it'll just take a couple minutes, and then you optimize your accounts to look like your business. So whenever we're changing this, we're really not doing much else other than like deleting. If the accounts that you bought have like some weird content on there, you can just go ahead and delete that. And as you're doing this process, you want to log in every single day to the accounts via the proxy, and you want to just be interacting with other accounts again as if these were perfect looking, as if these were like real accounts. Okay, so again, these are going to be like alt accounts that you come up with. You change the profile picture. There's a bunch of like AI headshot generators that you can use. Change the name, just do any normal name. Change the username, again, any normal username. If you want the masterclass of how to optimize an account, there will be a link down below the description for you to get that. Then we're going to verify the accounts. We're going to buy verification. Or rather, we're going to wait 3 days to verify, then we're going to buy the verification. What you want to be doing here with the verifications is you don't want to be using too many cards for multiple, or you don't want to be verifying multiple accounts with one card, okay? What you want to be doing is at most 2 accounts per card, okay? And that is super, super key. And you also want to make sure that the proxy you're using isn't banned on Stripe, because we've had that happen before where we buy proxies and then they're banned on Stripe. So just talk to your proxy provider so that that doesn't happen, because if it is, or if the proxy's IP is banned on Stripe, then every single card you'll use will just say it's declined, and so you won't be able to buy your new verifications, and this whole thing won't work. So we're gonna buy verifications, then we're gonna wait, then we're gonna optimize accounts to look like they're part of your business. We just optimize them to be like team members. And then that's it. You launch low volume, 6 to 10 messages per hour, and then you scale that up. Okay, so this is exactly what you need to do in order to create as many accounts as possible so you can actually be sending a ton of volume through Twitter outreach. Now, obviously, if you don't want to do all this, we at Drippy have a bunch of offers to help you do this. So you can just hit the link, first link down below in the description to get access to Drippy, and you'll find everything there. Okay, so now that we have accounts, we can actually move on to setting up campaigns. First thing we need to do is we need to figure out, number 1, who our ICP is, and number 2, where they hang out on Twitter. Now, for this video, let's just say we're reaching out to SaaS founders, agency owners, and coaches. And you want to just think to yourself, okay, who do these guys follow on Twitter? That's all we need to do to scrape leads on Twitter using a tool like Drippy. And so once you figured out who your ICP follows on Twitter, all we need to do is take their link, paste it into Drippy, and then that's it. That is literally all we need to do in order to scrape leads. So let me show you that process real quick. Okay, so if again we were targeting SaaS founders, agency owners, and coaches, I would probably go after someone like Daniel Fazio. I would just take his link right here. I would go into Drippy. Once again, there is a link down below in the description for you to start your 7-day free trial using Drippy, so you can get all this started for completely free. You just want to go ahead and hit leads. Now, once you're within the lead section, you just want to hit new lead source. You're going to hit the lead scraper. Now we're going to do an account source. We're going to paste the link in here. Now it's going to start loading, and we're going to able to select whether we want to scrape Daniel Fazio's followers or everyone that he follows. There we go. So his account just loaded up. We're going to do his followers and everyone that he follows as well. We're going to add that source. And what's really nice about Drippy is that you can add as many sources in here as you'd like. Okay. For this video, we're not going to add any more. We're just going to hit next. Now we can actually filter down our lead list. We can do number of followers. So for example, I only want to reach out to people that have more than 1,000 followers that follow or are followed by Daniel Fazio. And I only want to reach out to people that have the word CEO or the word founder in their bio. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit apply. And this list is going to start narrowing down. So we're going to hit next. And now we're just going to do Fazio demo. We're going to hit save. And then that's it. All right, so now that we have our lead list ready to go, we can move on to step number 2 of the campaign creation process, which is going to be creating an automation and getting our scripts ready to go. All right, so what we want to do is we want to hit automations right here on the left-hand side of our screen. Now we're going to hit add new. We're going to select Cold DM 2.0. We're going to hit next. We're going to select our lead source. So we're going to do the Fazio demo one that we just created. We're going to hit next. Then we're going to select script personalizer. This will essentially allow Drippy's AI to enhance our script rather than just having AI take care of everything completely, which you can do, but I just like being in control of what's being sent out from my account and from all the accounts representing my companies. So we're going to hit next. Now, in the context area, you just want to give the AI a little bit of, again, context on what it is that you do. So if we were doing this for an agency that helped businesses scale through Twitter outreach, we will just say this: I help businesses scale through Twitter outreach. Doesn't have to be much more than that. Then you select script, and this is where your actual script will come through. Now, there's a couple things you want to keep in mind whenever you're writing scripts. Number one, you want to put yourself in your prospect's shoes. If you personally would not reply to the messages that you're about to send out, please, for the love of God, just do not send the message. Go back to the drawing board, come up with some new angles, some new scripts, some new copy, and then use that, okay? And then obviously before you're going to send that, then just ask yourself the question again: hey, would I personally, if I were my ICP, would I reply to this message? If the answer is no, go back to the drawing board and then just rinse and repeat that process until you have something that you'd actually reply to. Second thing I always think through is, okay, if I were my prospect, once again, what's in it for them? Like, why would they reply to this message? Okay, so this goes back to having a really good offer, an offer that's built specifically for cold traffic. In order for your outreach to work, you really need to build an offer that's super easy to say yes to with minimal trust. Okay, whenever we're doing outreach, people don't trust you a ton unless you are reaching out to a warm audience. Okay, but if you're doing cold outreach, especially on Twitter, then this applies for like cold email, LinkedIn, anything. You want to make sure you have an offer that is super easy to say yes to. You want to build an attraction offer. It doesn't necessarily have to be your main offer. It just needs to be an offer that gets your foot through the door. Number three, and this is kind of redundant with point number two, but it's just asking yourself, hey, was this offer built specifically for cold traffic? Is this an offer that is super easy to say yes to, and not just an offer that a warm audience is going to say yes to? Because that's something super common. I hop on a bunch of calls, walking people through how to get things set up for their Twitter outreach campaigns, and a lot of them have only ever sold to a warm audience, meaning people that come inbound or to their referrals, right? And it's way easier to sell those people than a completely cold audience. And so whatever you're selling there probably isn't going to work as well if you're reaching out to a cold audience. So you want to just tweak your offer a little bit. Doesn't even need to be a tweak. It can just be taking your main offer, like taking one component of it, making it way cheaper than the whole thing, like as a whole, and then just using that as your attraction offer. You just need a little hook so that people actually reply to your messages, people actually hop on calls with you, then you sell them on something easy to say yes to. Then on the back end, that's when you'd be upselling into the higher ticket stuff. Fourth thing I always like to ask myself before sending a message is, hey, is this short and sweet, and can someone understand my message within 3 seconds? If the answer is no, I go back to the drawing board and then I try to come up with something again. People are getting hit with a ton of not just Twitter DMs, but they're also getting hit with a ton of emails, a ton of LinkedIn messages. So you just want to make it super easy for them to read, understand, and then say yes. And then the fifth thing I like asking, and this is if you're using automation, is, does this message seem like it's impossible to automate? The answer is yes, it is going to absolutely rip. The answer is no. There is still a chance that it's going to do well. It's just not as likely. Okay, and so what I mean by this is, nowadays, especially with Drippy.ai, you can use AI personalization within your messages to make them seem impossible to automate. And so if you're sending a message that just looks impossible to automate, odds are you'll have better reply rates. Now, what's nice about outreach is that you'll get instant feedback from the market pretty much as soon as you launch your campaigns. And so you'll be able to make changes. If you're not getting any replies, okay, let's change up the script. Or maybe you realize that, hey, I am getting replies, or I'm getting people to see the message, but they're not replying. Maybe that means the offer isn't as good, or maybe your profile isn't super well optimized. So there's a whole bunch of different things that you can start tweaking once you have data. But that's what's really nice about outreach. You can just collect a bunch of data, especially if you're doing a lot of volume, and then just tweak things very, very quickly. Now, how I like going about script writing is I like coming up with a bunch of different offers to begin with, testing different offers. And once I have one offer that's working better than all the others, then that's when I start testing out different scripts for that one offer. So 5 different scripts at least to start off that are going to be 5 different offers. And then once you have a winning offer, then that's when you just nail in on that one offer and test out different scripts for that one offer. All right, so now we can keep going with our setup. So here what we're going to be doing is we are going to be just writing a script that has worked really, really well for us in the past. So we're just going to do, hey, first name, if I could send, actually we're going to say, I put together a list of 1,000, and then we're going to insert personalization. Again, this is Drippy.ai. There's a 7-day free trial link down below in the description. That's going to be the first link down below. I put together a list of 1,000. insert their target audience based on their website. So this is going to say, hey, I put together a list of 1,000 doctors, lawyers, and accountants who are interested in your insert what type of service the prospect, I can't type for whatever prospect provides services. Interested in your video production services. Can I shoot them over for free? There we go. So this covers pretty much everything that we spoke about. We're putting ourselves in their shoes, and yes, I would reply to that message if someone's like, hey, I have 1,000 leads just ready to go that are in need of your services. Can I shoot them over for completely free? The answer is yes, so I would reply. What's in it for them? What would make them reply? I mean, it's the fact that you're getting leads for free, right? Number 3, is this offer built specific for cold traffic? Obviously, yes, this is a lead magnet that's built only for cold traffic, and it's meant to attract more leads, and then there's more friction added down further on in the funnel. Number 4, short, sweet, and can someone understand this in 3 seconds? In my eyes, yes. It's super easy to understand, especially if you're skimming through this and you're just saying, hey, put together a list of 1,000 and then your ICP. It's a no-brainer offer right there. And does this message seem possible to automate? Yes, especially if we're talking Twitter outreach. Now, there's a bunch of tools on like cold email where like people know that you can automate using AI, but Twitter is at a point right now where people don't even know that this level of personalization is possible on Twitter. So just take advantage of it while you can. And so yes, it passes our 5-question test with flying colors. Now we're gonna go into settings. You wanna set your creativity to 1.1, include website context, we're gonna turn that on. All recent tweets, we're gonna turn that on. We're gonna hit next. We're not gonna add any message variants. We're gonna add it one follow-up 1 day later, and we're gonna say, want me to shoot them over? Question mark, there we go. We're gonna hit next. Now we're gonna schedule 10 messages per hour with these advanced settings right here. So we're gonna skip previously contacted, meaning we're not gonna reach out to anyone that you are currently in a conversation with or that you previously had a conversation with. Auto follow off, auto retweet off, do not contact list on. AI language check, we're gonna turn this on. So we're just gonna message people that speak English. AI location check, we are going to hit people in the United States. So let me go ahead and find the US right here. And activity check, we're gonna make sure we're only reaching out to people that have been active within the last 14 days. There we go, 10 days. I really just go back and forth between those. 14 works really well, so we're gonna do that. Now we're gonna give this automation a name. This is the Fazio demo because that's the lead list we scraped. You select your sending account, and then that's it. You just hit create and your messages will start going out. All right, so now that we've launched our campaigns, and if you want to set this up for more accounts, you just do this for multiple accounts. That's it. You literally just repeat the process. And so now we're going to have to reply to everyone that starts replying to our messages. Now, if you're sending more than 1,000 messages a day and you don't have some sort of Unibox, this is going to be a complete pain in the ass, which is why we built the Drippy Unibox, which is essentially just your one-stop shop to reply to all the messages you're getting from all the different campaigns across all the different accounts. All you need to do is you just go in here, you hit all the accounts that you actually want to look at replies from. So once you select all your accounts, you can actually just start going through all of the messages that you're sending out. You can filter by unread and unreplied. You can add any tags you'd like. And so this just makes it super easy for you to access all of your chats in one spot without having to log in and out of 100 different Twitter accounts. And I actually have a hack that you can use to not have to go back and forth with everyone. And this is especially useful if you're sending out a ton of volume. Essentially what you want to do is you want to make sure your initial message will only be replied to with 3 different options. You just want to make it so straight to the point that people are either saying yes, no, or how does it work? So what this will do is it'll make it easy for you to standardize the appointment setting process. If someone replies no, then I don't really do anything. But if they say yes, I'll just shoot them over a link to the freebie number 1. I'll shoot them a link to our calendar link number 2. And so after I send out the 2 links, I just send them a quick message saying, hey, first name, linked above is the XYZ freebie or the XYZ, like whatever you said you'd shoot over. So you sent that over already with the first link, then you sent the calendar link, then you're letting them know that, hey, you shot it over, and then you're saying for context, here's what else we can help with. And then you just give them a quick couple bullet points. And then at the bottom, I like saying, if you think that this is a fit, I left my calendar link above. Feel free to book a call whenever it best fits in with your schedule. So you just make it super short, sweet, to the point. You're providing value. You're not being pushy. You're saying, hey, if you think this would be a fit, book a call with me here, right? So again, this is my favorite way of setting appointments. This will work if your freebie is good enough. If not, then just work on your freebie so you don't have to go back and forth with everyone that you're reaching out to. And what's really nice is you can just have someone on your team take care of it because they don't need a ton of training to do it, right? It's super standardized. There's 3 replies. You just have canned responses for each one of those different situations, and then you're good to go. So this really is the 80-20 of appointment setting on Twitter outreach. And so that's it. If you want to try Dripbee out for yourself, first link down below the description is going to be a 7-day free trial. And I'll also leave you with this video walking through what Alex Hormozi has to say about Twitter outreach. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.